as well. But yeah, that's it for this. Any questions you guys have? We're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, as always. There's a little Q&A panel there. You can throw your questions in there, and I'll be happy to answer those in the last 10, 20, 30 minutes or so of the today's webinar. So just put those in there at any time you have a question, and we'll get to them at the end. And as always, we're sending out a survey to you guys. So if you have any feedback, anything you want to learn more about in the future, feel free to put that in the survey, and we'll give you a 10% discount for the content store. And speaking of content store, right on the screen right now, we have the content store open. And I just wanted to show you the weekly special today or this week rather, is the Battle Mech series, this Mech Rex. So it's really cool, kind of a sci-fi type robot, down to $15 from like $149 for iContent, $19 for export license. So I recommend checking this out. And as always, if you have a lot of questions, generally the fastest way to get your questions answered is to check out our forums at forum.reallusion.com here. I'll throw this link in the chat window in case some of you are too lazy to type in forum.reallusion.com. And there we go, throw that in there. Yeah, so I recommend setting up an account and going in there. A lot of people, a lot of veterans there have some free time and able to answer questions. I'm always able to answer your questions as well, although it may take a bit longer. kai@reallusion.com is my email. All right, let's go to the next one here. So this is a video, this is a tutorial video I did a few months back. I guess it's last year, October 12th here, where this basically covers what we're gonna be covering today, but it covers it in like 6 minutes. 6.5 minutes. So I'll throw this in the chat window as well for you guys. This is just a really fast kind of review of pretty much the same workflow I'm going to be following today, although I'm going to be adding a few more things in and going a bit slower, obviously. Oh, and this is one of the content packs we're going to be using. I guess I should probably load up Daz. I realized I didn't have it loaded up here. Yeah, so that's basically all that's the whole shebang. And we are recording this as well for if you missed something or you want to go back and review it, we are recording it and we are broadcasting live on YouTube. We'll send you the link later as well through via email there. And you can always check out the YouTube video as well at any point. Just a quick reminder, excuse me. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, we're not going to be answering questions from the YouTube chat, unfortunately. So you'll have to join in the Zoom webinar here. So let's just go ahead and throw in, I have a folder open here. We're going to go right into our live demo here. I'm going to bring in my, my first character that I've already prepared here. And she contains items from this pack here, this Unlucky Tattoos for Genesis 8 female. This is your Genesis base, your base Genesis 8 female. I'll throw this in the chat window as well if you want to really closely follow this this webinar. And then we can close down Edge here. All right, so there she is, just your basic. I threw some basic clothes on her, nothing too special. Threw some Leone hair on her and so on and so forth. So yeah, without much further ado, like I said, I'm not going to spend much time in Daz. We're going to be focusing more on kind of refining and importing your Daz character in Character Creator 3. And I'm not really the best at Daz either, so don't ask me to do anything too complex. But I do know how to export. So when your character's on the screen, you're going to just go up to File and Export. And you want to make sure you export to FBX format, of course. And let's just throw all this onto our desktop. We'll call it, I don't know, Tattoo Girl. Okay. Onto our desktop there. Now, here's an important part. We no longer really have to import the Daz A pose onto our characters. That's one point that you'll see in the video, the tutorial video that I showed earlier. We've kind of you don't really need to do that anymore. The most important thing that you have here is that you merge your clothing into your figure skeleton. Make sure you have that. And make sure you also choose for output options FBX 2012 binary. Okay, it used to be FBX 2011 binary, but we've upgraded to like still 9 years ago, but there you go. So FBX 2012 binary. These are the important things. You don't need to edit morph export rule anymore. So a lot of the stuff that we needed before, we no longer need with the transformer tool. Just a couple of updates. And just go ahead and select accept. Okay, and that'll export your diddly-do FBX. And I guess I probably should have turned her bones off, but okay. Anyways, so now we're here in your default Character Creator 3 project. And the first thing you want to do, go up to Transformer. Now keep in mind that Transformer is only available with the pipeline version of Character Creator 3. So if you have the free version of CC3 that comes with iClone, you won't have this feature. So just please be aware of that. But if you do have it, which I highly recommend getting it, go up to Transformer, and we're going to be talking about CC3 Base, CC3 Plus. Okay, so this is the kind of new and improved. It's not really so much new anymore, but it is improved over the previous versions for sure. So let's go ahead and click that, and let's find our character tattoo girl on the desktop. Okay, so now there's a few import options that I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to explain what these mean. You can always just like read first. You know, if you don't want to hear me blabber on, you can kind of listen to me talk in the background. It just kind of shows. The basic here is all it does is it imports the diffuse and opacity from the FBX file. Everything else is kind of set to basically just sets it to like a SkinGen skin preset. So you can go ahead and use that if you want. Advanced gives you the option to bake all of the DAZ maps. And I'll show you how to do that first. And I'll show you kind of why you don't want to do it in the end. I'll show you why you kind of generally want to adopt a SkinGen skin base as opposed to importing in your DAZ skin base. All right, so you can come here and check it out more if you want. I'm going to choose advanced first. Okay, now with advanced, I'm going to go ahead and bake my body texture. Okay, so this is going to bake the textures for my DAZ character onto my onto my G8 character, or onto my, it's going to be converted to a CC3 Plus character from a G8 character. I also want to make sure that you guys are aware that only G3 and G8 characters are available for this pipeline. So both male and female, but you need to choose G8 or G3 characters. We're going to choose a texture size of 2048, nothing too crazy. We don't need a texture profile right now. We don't need a skin template. We do have some hair, so we want to define that hair as, type. We go to hair, brows, and beard right here. Okay, the bra and the panties can remain as clothing, obviously. And then we can just go ahead and click OK. What that's going to do is that's going to actually bake all those textures from the DAZ character. Now, back in DAZ, I want to show you as well the any of the materials that you you want to find on your character. You have to find the original JPEG files for those textures. Okay, so you can, if you go to like materials, for example, you can often go to here and just click on browse to file location. I'm just choosing a random one right here, for example. Now this will show the Dyson file, but you actually need to go into the actual surfaces of your character and should be able to find it here somewhere. I haven't done this in a while. Face, yeah, here you'll find the diffuse map right there. Okay. And if you right click on it, you can find it, I believe, or somewhere in there. But anyways, let's go back to Character Creator 3. I just want to show you that because that's where the tattoos, I've actually found those tattoos and saved them out into a separate folder. And that's this inked folder here. So you'll see they all have, these are just the JPEG files, the source files. You can see JPEG right here. I'll show you this one, for example. Let's just double click it. Okay, so this is our one of our tattoos, right? You can see it has a white background. It's a JPEG, but we're going to fix that later on when we import it in to our character. So what's going to happen is actually all those tattoos and everything are going to be baked onto our character. Now this is probably the longest way to import your DAZ character when you have to bake all the textures and everything like that. So that's why it's taking a couple minutes here. And we should be golden to go in a couple seconds here. All right, so you'll see the character pop up. Hair comes on. Now, since we have the new hair system in Character Creator 3, if you really need to, you can import the DAZ hair, but there's obviously a couple of things that you'll need to fix, including the physics. So if you want your DAZ hair to like move around with your character with physics enabled in iClone, then you'll need to actually create a weight map. and that can often take a little bit of time. But if you're, insistent on importing your hairstyle in, you can go ahead and do that. I just wanted to show you this one like underwear kind of section here, imported in a little bit strange. So you can just click on it, go to attributes here, go to conform. If this happens, just do this, go to calculate collision, and generally that'll resolve your issue right there. Okay. A little note on the hair as well. You'll see that all the tattoos and everything import in just fine. And we're going to talk about using the UV tool map with SkinGen Premium to import in those tattoos onto the correct area on the body. First with the hair, there's a couple things you can do. If you go over to materials, there's a few, like you can see there's a lot of materials, back, under, bangs, yada, yada. You can tweak these individually, but if you want to see what you can do really quickly, you can just shift and select all of them and go down here to opacity. And you can see that right now, it looks quite thick and strange. So one thing I found is if you decrease the opacity sometimes, it'll make the hair finer and easier. Easier on the eyes, I guess you can say. Okay, just like that. Another couple things you can do. Let's see here. You can also adjust the base color and all the parameters in here, like the opacity and everything like that. Now, if you want to save your Daz hair as a Character Creator 3 hair template, it's quite easy. You can just go over here to your hair in the content manager and go to custom, and just under style, just press the plus button. And yeah, you might want to get a better perspective of it because it's going to create a pretty close-up thumbnail. So something like this would be ideal. Just go plus. There you go. Just call it like, Daz hair. Yada. Okay. And then you can apply it to any character you want in the future. It'll automatically save, just deleting the other one here, to any other character. Okay, so you see all these tattoos imported in just fine and everything. We can go and change the pose of our character if we want. Let's go to like a pose. Let's choose something like, let's go to template here. Maybe just a female pose. I don't know, against the wall or something. There you go. Looks kind of cool. No, she looks like a cool tattooed chick. There you go. Okay, anyways, I was talking about the skin, right? So if we want to edit the skin, you may be familiar with the SkinGen plugin we have. If you're not, I'll teach you about it a little bit right now. If you go over here to your appearance right here, you can click on Activate Editor, and this will activate our SkinGen editor. And the SkinGen editor will allow you to do all kinds of things to the skin. It's a very, very comprehensive skin editor. You can have all sorts of different options for customizing the skin. Right now, you can see there's only one skin base. Okay, so it just gave us a skin base, and this is the baked materials from the Daz G8 character. Okay, just the base color right here, and you can see the normal, and it basically just imported all these in as they are. Now the issue comes if you have a character, especially a character with tattoos, and you want to throw on other stuff on top of the skin base layer. That can be a problem, specifically if you want to do things like change the skin color, for example. If I change the skin color, I'd go down here to brightness, for example, on the skin base. You can see we can do it that way. Okay, we have to do it for all of the different options here as well, all the different materials, where you can just update, and it'll update to all the other materials. Yeah, that's one way to change your base color as well. But if you want to add like a different base color, for example, something like if we went to our content manager, go up here to skin, and microphone's in the way here. If we go up to like maybe, not the SkinGen tools, maybe something like skin base. The realistic human skin pack, by the way, is included in the 4-in-1 pack for the SkinGen Premium plugin. Highly recommend getting it. It has a lot of different stuff available, a lot of different templates you can use. If we go for example, maybe let's go to skin details and skin decal here on the face. Well, this will actually only be the face. So if we went to skin base and we chose something like Let's actually choose realistic human skin. You'll see that we'll be able to, if we throw stuff on top of these tattoos, basically the layers will be on top of the tattoos. Like for example, the skin color will also go on top of the tattoo. Let's see here. Skin details. Let's try and find something for the body. Like in this realistic human skin, for example. There used to be a body one here. Coloration. Okay, let's try this dull chest one here, for example. This is kind of a male one, but it'll show up as sort of like kind of like a rash type thing on the chest here. So something like this, it'll go over top of the skin base, and it'll eventually fade out all the tattoos. So anything you layer on top of this will fade out the tattoos underneath. So this is kind of why you may not want to do this if you're throwing other skin bases on top of this or other coloration on top of this. You may want to have those tattoos on top of the actual skin base. So this is why I don't recommend really doing the advanced and baking the skin textures. What I recommend doing is, you can do that, but you can also just load in one of the Character Creator 3 SkinGen bases automatically. So if we try and do that, let's go ahead and do that. Let's start a new project here, and I'll show you how you can add those tattoos manually afterwards, after we've brought in the character using the basic mode. And basic mode basically just replaces everything except for the mesh, like I mentioned earlier here. So transformer again, CC3 plus, and let's load in Tattoo Girl. So again, you'll want to find the texture files for those tattoos, and just go to basic in this case. And basic, it's not going to need to bake anything, so we don't need to bake body texture. It's just going to automatically generate one. Again, we'll need to change our hair to hair right there. Go okay. Now this will just take a minute here to load this in. And once it does, then I'll talk about using the UV tool in the SkinGen Premium plugin to load those tattoos on manually afterwards. And that way, the tattoos are not baked into the base layer. You can actually move them around onto different layers. And I'll show you that in just a moment. It's just more flexibility for your tattoos, especially if you have stuff like body paint and everything else like that included. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this case, I'm actually just gonna take this hair off. I'm gonna replace it with one of our hair builder hairs here. Whoops, where are we? There we go. So if we go to group, hair, you can see we have a hair builder pack. You can find this in the content store. There's a whole bunch of hair stuff. There's also a prime hairstyles, which I recommend. I really like this prime hairstyles one. I'll just throw this one on here right now. And okay, so now basically it's set her up with a basic, your default Character Creator 3 skin base. Okay, if I go to activate the editor, you'll see the skin base. And then we can actually change the skin base in a variety of different ways, which I'm going to show you here later on. Okay, so here's our skin base again for the body. Again, no tattoos. So we can throw those tattoos on later individually. But let's take a look at how we can modify the skin first slightly here. So we're going to go to our, back to our SkinGen stuff here. Now there's a couple things here. We can go to normal effects. Actually, I'll talk about these first. There's overall, there's skin, full skin, and skin base. Now, full skin, the only thing full skin will do is this will add normal templates. So for example, if we have this female old normal template right here, what it's going to do is it's going to keep the skin base, but it's going to throw on a bunch of normals on top, so she'll look older. But with the same skin color and everything like that, but just with normals and wrinkles and stuff on top. And you'll see that pop up in just a sec here. So I actually should have probably done that on the tattoo one earlier, but you'll get the point here once this normal stuff loads in. And then there's overall. The overall folder includes templates that include skin base and skin normals. Okay, so overall is basically if you want to totally change your character. Okay, but with the full skin, what we've done, we've retained the same color, but we've just added on those normals and a couple of layers here. You'll see chest wrinkle, age wrinkle. If we take all these off, it'll just be back to our regular character. If we go back to our head, for example, our head material up here, then we can remove all the other ones, age, freckles, medium, one by one, and you'll see she'll gradually, like Indiana Jones in reverse, she'll gradually lose all her age here. There you go. Okay, so that's what the full skin templates do. And there's a couple that are that come with Character Creator 3. The realistic human skin has a few more of them though. And then skin base, for example, if I wanted to change the color of my character's skin, generally I recommend starting with a skin base. If you want to change the color of your character's skin, something like this, there's this female African template, for example, for darker skin characters, or like, athletic here for maybe Latino type characters or something like that. There's a whole bunch of templates here in that realistic human skin pack. If we choose like this female African one, for example, here, we'll just apply. Okay, so this is it's gonna keep those wrinkles and all that stuff, but it's gonna basically change the skin base. And once it changes the skin base, we can restore all those wrinkles and everything, and then we'll be able to make her old again. All right, so here's what she would look like. We're gonna do the Indiana Jones thing. And here are the lip here. You can change the lip color in this. Probably want to take this one off in this case, just because it was meant for a lighter skin character. Okay, so boom, now she's like old again. All right, so that's what the difference between skin base and full skin templates and overall. If I want to change everything overall, we can just go to do that, and let's choose something like female athletic. Okay, so this one's going to be kind of like darker skinned, not really darker skin. So we need to deactivate SkinGen in this case. It's just going to basically reset everything. And of course, all of this is still with our same Daz character mesh. All right, so it's the same mesh, but now we have the nice different skin all set up there. And I like this skin. It looks quite healthy, and there's a lot of subtle details in it, like some discoloration on the cheeks and stuff like that. So a couple other things when you import your Daz characters in, you may want to check the eyes and the teeth. Okay, since the eyes are not super compatible with our digital human shader. So just go to attributes with your character selected, and you can open or close the eyes like this, open and close the mouth like this. And you'll see the teeth when they come in from Daz, not really too realistic looking. So generally what you want to do is replace those. Go over here to the base and go to your teeth. And we'll just throw in like your regular teeth here. And you'll see those replaced right there. And the eyes, same thing. If we go to the eyes, we'll just throw in the blue eyes here. Okay, so that looks really nice with those nice blue irises. If for example, we think the teeth are too high, because it's not going to change the position of the teeth, it's just going to change the materials. If we think the teeth are too high or too low, for example, you can also just make sure your character is selected, and you can go to adjust bones for the teeth. Okay, and then up here, go to face and include eyes and teeth. And then you can just go ahead and choose like auto position. For example, you'll see the teeth right here. This is the teeth kind of bone. You can just go auto position and it'll adjust it ever so slightly. If we select it manually and bring it down, you can see we can bring it, the bottom teeth all the way out there, the jaw, okay? So generally we wouldn't want the jaw to be lower than the chin, so I'll just Control Z that and undo it. Excuse me. Generally, auto position will be the one that you can just, if it's a little bit off, you can just auto position it, and then we're pretty decent, I think. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so I'll close the mouth right now. If you do want to change the colors of the eyes or anything like that, it's actually really easy. You can just select the eyes and go over here to materials and make sure you select the digital human eye, not the PBR standard IL. So make sure you select the cornea material name here. And you'll see the shader type is digital human eye. So the DAZ ones are not digital human eye shaders, they're PBR. So we have the special shader called digital human eye. And if you go to like the eye, or the iris, you can change the color of the iris by going to advanced. You can change pupil scale as well. Okay, so make the pupils larger, smaller. Iris color brightness, you can really kind of pump those up to make it look kind of, angelic or something. Any parameter as well, if you want to restore it back to default, you can just double click on the name. So like iris color brightness. If I just double click on that, it'll restore it back to default there. Okay, and also within here, there's the inner iris, the iris color. Right now it's white, and there's an iris inner color of yellow, kind of the yellowish glow. You can just go ahead and select the white color right here, and then choose something like green, pink, red. You can go wild with whatever color you want here. I think this kind of emerald one looks quite nice, so we'll just stick with that. Coolio. All right, so we've got that all taken care of. Now what we can do, we have quite a bit of time left here. What we can do now is we can go ahead and throw on those tattoos. So let's go ahead and do that. The way we're going to do it is by using we're going to go over here to Skin and go to SkinGen tools. Again, this is with the SkinGen Premium plugin, okay? Make sure you are aware of that. Under SkinGen tools, we need to go to UV transfer. And there's 4 different folders here. There's a G3 female folder, G8 female folder, G3 male folder, and G8 male folder. Okay, since we're dealing with the G8 character right here, we're going to just double click that. And there's a few sections here. And basically what we need to do is we just need to add these on to the different parts of our body where the tattoos are in our original DAZ character. So you'll see that there's, let's zoom in here. Whoops. There's one that goes across the chest. Now this chest one's going to be annoying because we're going to need to use actually 4 different UV tools to get it, because it goes across the shoulder, chest, neck, and 2 shoulders, yeah, neck and the chest there. And then there's a couple on the back and everything like that. And I'll show you how it works right now here. So let's go ahead and back to the under the G8 female folder here. We have, let's take a look at which one should we do first. Let's do the face one first. Okay, so if we mouse over, you can see DAZ G8 face. Okay, SkinGen tool. If we just double click that, it's going to basically load up SkinGen here. And hopefully it'll apply to our head material. SkinGen generally takes a couple seconds to load up. Yeah, once you apply that, then we're going to apply that. See if you can really see. There's a kind of a teardrop tattoo on her eye, but the hair is kind of in the way, and also her the facial bones are in the way. You need to go to figure store. This should take. Okay, well that made them semi-transparent. I think we go to parameters, display, scene, bones. Oh, it's already off. All right, well, bear with me. The bones are going to stay there for now. All right, so now we loaded up the material in the head, and you'll see we have that G8 female face UV tool set up there. So what this is this is basically just something that we can add any sort of texture onto. And like I mentioned earlier, you want to go into DAZ and find those original textures, not the DUF files, the original textures. Okay, so you can see I have them loaded up here in this folder. And the first one is the tattoo for the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this tattoo, this eye tattoo to the character, and apply it to the base color channel. Okay, and when we do that, you'll see, wow, the whole thing turns white. Now, I did this on purpose because this is the section of the character, the DAZ G8 mesh that is controlled by this G8 face tool. Okay, so anything that's on your DAZ character, anything on this section of the face you'll need to use the Daz J Face UV tool here. Now, there's an easy way to remove this whiteness from the face. All you need to do is just, she looks like a mime right now. You can see the tattoo there on the right eye though. I just go from blend mode to normal to multiply. Okay, and then you can see there's the tattoo. It's applied to our character's face. You can also see the nice, pore detail on this character as well. All right, let's go to the next one, which is going to be the chest. So for this one, actually, no, we'll use the one on the back of the neck rather, over here. This one is going to also be head. But for this one, we're going to use Daz G8, and there's one called back skull. Okay, so again, I'm just going to apply this to the head material. But for this one, you need to go to back skull, and the back skull is going to be the number 13. I have this written down somewhere. Yeah, there we go. So tattoo 13. So this one here is in 2 parts. If I mouse over it, you'll be able to, well, I guess it's not going to preview for us. 2 parts, and they're kind of separated on each end here. So what we need to do for that is just bring that over onto our back skull. And shibbity bam, shibbity boop. That's the area that's covered by the back skull. And again, just change it to multiply, and there we go. So now we have these 2 layers. We can move them around. We can change them. We can adjust the opacity, like this back skull opacity, this tattoo right here, for example. We can fade it out if we want, just like this. Okay. We can change the color. We can do a lot of stuff separately, that we couldn't do if the material is baked in when we brought it in from Daz. So that's really the advantage of changing everything and change the hue to like something cool. Like I think the green looks pretty nice. There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the next one. Okay, so we're going to the chest now, and the chest is going to be on the body material. Actually, I believe there's one on the neck, so the front neck here. Let me just change this back face. I think this one is it. Nope, it's the back skull. So if you pay close attention, you'll see that the back skull actually covers part of the upper chest as well. So what we need to do in that case is we need to add yet another back skull one to our head. Okay, and this one we're going to apply the 01. Okay, so back skull 02, this one here. And then we need to apply the 01 tattoo, which I've written down here. And we're going to apply that to our base color. Boom. Okay, so now it appears on the upper chest there, and we just need to go again and do multiply, and we're all set for that part of the chest. Okay, so the other parts of the body, we need to go to body here. And for body, there's Daz GF body right here. There's fingernails, there's legs, there's toenails, there's shoulders, and there is body and, oh yeah, shoulders is both. Okay, so we're just gonna throw in the body one here under the body material, and basically just repeat the same thing. Go to our texture here and apply that, make sure we have it loaded up first. And throw that into our base color channel there. And again, blend mode, multiply. And then one for the shoulder. This is also going to go, if we go to material, you can see it, there's one for the arm as well. There's also one for the body. But if we go to body and we go to normal, you'll see it doesn't really cover the shoulders, okay? So this is the part we need to apply separately. So we need to go to multiply, change from body to arm, and then the shoulder one goes on the arm, okay? Hopefully that's clear as mud. We'll basically just apply the exact same texture map for shoulder, and throw her in there, and finally our chest tattoo will be complete once we change it to multiply mode. Okay, so you can see sometimes it can be a little tricky. And if we didn't have these UV tools, it'd be really complicated to get those UV maps onto our character 3+ body. One final one, let's do it for the arm here. Again, there's one here. What is the toenails, legs, fingernails, body. Oh, This arm, yeah, right here, first one. Okay, so there's one tattoo for the arm as well. Double click that. That's going to be on the material arm, obviously. And on our dad's character, that's the one, whoops, down here on her arm. Okay, the flaming heart one, or flaming dice, whatever it is. So with that one, it is a tattoo number 14. A lot of tattoos on here, holy smokes. By the way, the S stands for specular. I'm not going to bother loading in the specular maps though on the end of the naming there. So we'll just, oops, arm, and throw in that 14 right there. Okay, so again, it applies to both arms, but we just need to the one, so multiply. Okay, and voila, everything's complete. We have all the tattoos taken care of, and now we can actually clothe her. Okay, so let's throw on some. Well, actually, let's do a couple other things first. With the, we have a few more minutes here to fool around. Let's do a couple more things here with the face, just to throw on some additional character onto the face here. I'm just going to go over here to our blemishes, and she looks like she's, you know, athletic. She can probably use a suntan a little bit here. Make sure we apply this to their head material. We can also give her a bikini suntan as well. It's not going to be too scandalous for this webinar. We'll give her the sunburned face right now. Okay, you can see the sunburned face. Again, we can adjust the opacity right there. Let's give her a bit more color. She is, in fact, athletic. She's probably spent some time outdoors. Let's go to the body and do the bikini line there. Bikini. Okay. This is just going to add to the body layers here as well. Yeah. Bikini layer. All right, good enough. Okay, so maybe we'll throw on some like freckles. You know, a lot of stuff you can throw on here. I'm just kind of going through a few right now, just to kind of show you the possibilities. But after this, we'll go ahead and throw our character into iClone and take a look at some quick animation. There's our, whoops, head. Yeah, it applies automatically to. That's the nice thing about character creator. Even if you have the head or the body material selected and you select freckles, it'll apply to the face material. It'll just kind of automatically detect that we have those freckles on there. Okay, so again, nice little details like this, and you can go in and modify all these things quite significantly as well. You can change the color, the opacity. Okay, have them stronger. You can have you know, red freckles. I don't know why you'd want red freckles, but maybe something like, you know, this would be a bit a darker skin tone. And of course, there's all the other variables as well. These ones aren't going to have much of an effect for freckles, and I won't spend too much time on this stuff. For SkinGen, we have, you know, all sorts of tutorials on SkinGen that talk about all these different templates and how you can modify and adjust them. If you want to learn more about that, I'd be happy to answer questions in the Q&A. But let's go to makeup quickly. We can throw some easy makeup on her since she is athletic. So right now we only have the eyebrows. Okay, now one thing to keep in mind with eyebrows, if we take our eyebrows off, we also have an eyebrow system that's included in our hair and brow system. So there's new eyebrows that we've kind of included in Character Creator 3 that actually have their own meshes, and they're kind of pinned to our characters, or sorry, weighted rather to our character's facial mesh. So if you want to have eyebrows that actually stick out, you know, like an old man kind of, what's the old Chinese dude from Kill Bill, whatever his name is, he has those kind of crazy eyebrows that stick out. You wouldn't want to use these makeup eyebrows, obviously. You'd want to go to our presets here, and under our hair, and under hair you can see there's some eyebrows. Okay, so there's some, you know, female eyebrows. I'll show you the difference here. If we have these loaded up and we go to, let's say, maybe something that's a bit stronger, female flat, female medium, okay, or female trimmed, maybe this female flat one would be nice. And of course, this is going to just remove SkinGen. So we'll have to load up SkinGen. Every time you adjust the mesh, you're going to have to unload SkinGen. Okay, so you'll see right there. So I mean, those eyebrows, if you look closely, they're actually a mesh. So we can select edit mesh, and you can actually edit the mesh of the eyebrows, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. This, you can see the mesh is quite complicated, and it'll move along with the character's face and brows. So, if for example I wanted to remove those, just make them invisible, you can see the difference. Okay, the makeup eyebrows really not that nice looking compared to the new brows, and they're a lot more realistic. And when it comes to stuff like the mustache and the beard, they're a lot better. They animate a lot better when you're doing your facial animation. Okay, so we'll leave this here for now, and I'm just going to go back into our makeup here, and we can deactivate those or just remove that old layer for the eyebrows. And of course, if you want to make tweaks to the mesh of the face as well, there's always there's a huge library of like thousands of facial morphs. Sometimes I feel we have too many facial morphs. If you if you have all the headshot facial morphs and everything, there's literally thousands. It can be a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, I'll just take those off for now, or just keep them on as a reference for now. And we can go over here to our makeup on the top, and something like this makeup and SFX pack comes with the SkinGen Premium 4-in-1 there. I like this one, capable. She's very capable. Maybe we can use something like the sweet one here, or the sunshine. I don't know makeup. Come on. I don't really wear it too often. There's a sunshine one. Maybe it's a little too red, but you can throw these on your own time. And I'm just showing like a complete. Oh, that one's too strong. Here I'm being all picky about makeup. We could even give her like a warrior makeup as well. And these are all part of the makeup content package. Just for your reference. Vintage, I like this one's kind of nice too. Although it might not match well if she's too tanned. Yeah, probably not the best makeup for this this character. I'll just go with that sunshine one, I think. All right, that's we're going to work with that. Okay, but yeah, I just want to show you all the makeup potential, makeup possibilities. There's eyes, foundation, yada yada. If you want a makeup tutorial, I'd be more than happy to give you one later on, but we'll stick with this. And if of course, like I mentioned, if we want to morph our character's facial features, then we can enable this. Need to get out of our SkinGen editor first. So we're done with the SkinGen stuff. If I want to briefly morph my character's face, then I guess those eyebrows will just stay there anyways. I forgot to delete the eyebrow layer, doesn't matter. If you have the morph gizmo enabled right here, you can just, for example, make her nose a bit longer. You can bring it up like that. All sorts of fun stuff. And I'm sure that you're probably, if you're familiar at all with Character Creator, there's tons of stuff you can do there. Ooh. Yeah, we don't want to do anything too crazy to her lips there. But again, if you go to your morphs tab, all of them can be adjusted here as well. So nose height and so on and so forth. Brows, you can brow height, make them a little bit higher. There we go. And again, if you want to go back to default, just double click on the parameter name and it'll go back to default. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. She looks fairly decent, and we'll take her into iClone and show some quick animation, and then we'll go to the Q&A. We'll just throw some quick clothes on first, I guess. Let's just go to street fashion. I don't know. we're gonna give her like, we're gonna make her into like a Oktoberfest waitress, I guess. The street fashion item here. Let's take that unsightly blue underwear off now. Oops, may not be able to select it here. Oops, this one. Yeah, there we go. And then what goes on the bottom? Let's see, pants, street fashion. Probably skirts, I guess. There we go. I guess none of these skirts really go with this outfit, though. That's too bad. Okay, we'll just work with this. Something that is okay, I'm just going to work with this. We have to change the color because it might look a little bit weird. All right, if you want to change the color of your clothing, by the way, this clothing, you can just go up here to the appearance editor in this right here. Whoops. No, that's not where it is. It's going to load up our SkinGen now again. It used to be called the appearance editor, and we used to be able to modify clothing with it and everything. So I'm old school. Sometimes I get left behind. Anyways, if that's fine, if this looks nice, then we can work with it. But I just want to change the color a little bit. Yeah. So you don't want to go into the appearance editor when you have your clothing selected, or the SkinGen editor. Otherwise, it'll just load up everything. Yeah, here you go. Let's make sure we select it. And go to our materials here. There's a couple settings down here. Now, we can change it from traditional to PBR if we want, just to get a bit better. So now it'll show us the outfits. Yeah, right up here. There's our appearance editor. And once we load this up, and we have a heat wave over here. My brain's a little fried. Then you can change the output size to whatever you want, probably 2048 by 2048. The fabric in this case, if we go to our input maps, let's just see, it's all black. So that means it's our base fabric here, which is it's just one fabric. And you can see it's indicated here by base fabric black. If you go to input, or rather diagnostic, and you select enable, you can see the entire thing is only one fabric. So you only have to worry about this base fabric here. So let's disable that. Go to our base fabric. And there's also a pattern on it, I guess. Oh gosh, yeah, pattern. It is this one. Types houndtooth, a dot. There you go. We can change it to dot. Change it to, Paisley might be nice. Or we can even just choose input, in which case it'll just be basic. All right. So input means we'll have to input in our own. These are just templates that come with Character Creator 3. If we choose input, we'd have to put in our own. In this case, we can go here to our fabric, and then we can change our hue to something a bit pinker. Saturation. All right, spending too much time on the clothing. This webinar is not supposed to be about clothing, but let's throw some shoes on her first really quick, and then we'll throw her into iClone. You can see you can get really caught up in trying to do all the nitty gritty stuff and get into the details and stuff. Let's throw some flip flops. These ones look good. I didn't get the color quite right on that skirt, but there you go. Okay, so then we'll take our character. We'll just load up iClone real quick. And I will show you the character because CC3 Base Plus characters have more detailed facial morphs. We utilized a bunch of facial morphs from Apple ARKit that make for a lot more detailed facial animation. I just wanted to show this off, how you can throw your dad's character and they can basically adopt all of those facial blend shapes to create some really unique and detailed facial animations. Let's go ahead and just throw her in there. So selected. We can just go up here to send character to iClone. No worries. Maybe the bright pink doesn't go too well with the dark tan skin, but that's okay. I think we had to close that first. Shoop. All right, now it's loading up. And when she's in, I'll just show you the facial animation potential, and then we'll just go from there. Oh, let's give let's get a nice scene going here. Just to get some better lighting. And we'll throw our character in a pose too. You can use the CC3 default. Oh crap, it's gonna I don't have it downloaded yet. Digital human default. Okay, this looks a little bit better. Okay, so back to content. Motion, let's just give her a pose too, so she's not kind of looking so frigid there. Let's just use this one. Oops. Oh, make sure she's selected. There we go. Wowza. Okay. Or maybe it's a little too scandalous. Let's just try something like this. Okay, that one looks good. And we get the nice contrast on the face there as well. Okay, so again, lots of facial animation tools in iClone if you're not familiar with it. But I just want to show you here, if we go over to our Modify tab and Animation, we have the Facial Puppet tool. Now, so I want to show you the Face Key tool here first. If we choose Expression Set, you can see there's EX Plus, and this is what I was talking about before. There's a lot of EX Plus. This character is EX Plus enabled. As soon as you convert it to CC3 Plus, it's able to use this EX Plus expression set, which is a lot more detailed. If we go to like our expression templates, you can see right here, there's EX Plus ones. So those ones are fairly simple, like the happy ones right here. Notice they're very simple, very, not really too interesting, and that one looks kind of fake. But if we go to EX Plus happy sad, you'll notice that these ones are a lot more kind of expressive, okay? And these ones utilize a lot more blend shapes. That's why they're able to be a lot more expressive, okay? I'll just go back to our default one here. And then we can also use the Facial Puppet tool as well. So with the Facial Puppet tool, we can use, again, one of those EX Plus profiles. You can animate the eyes separately from the brows, separately from the mouth, separately from everything. I don't want to go into too much detail on that. But say, for example, I chose this EX Plus closed template, and I just choose like the default one is happy. If I press preview and space, you can see I can move my mouse cursor around this target here. And if I press W, I can switch to sad. So QWERTY, you can switch to like all the different facial profiles. This one's kind of like angry. Okay. This one's kind of like a worried one. And then, oops, last one. Oops. What did I do here? By the way, if you press the J hotkey, it'll focus on your character's face. The last one sounds like surprise or wonder, I think. Yeah, and if we want to rotate our character's head, we can do so as well. Let's have maybe her looking around, kind of looking around in disgust, like looking at all these drunk Oktoberfest guys. So we can just go ahead and record, and then, let's just Control Z that. I didn't select the eye movement. So if I select this EX plus close and I select the disgust template here, I can also click on these two, which will rotate the head, and click on the eyes as well. Okay. And then if I record, okay, so that's just some brief, really quick facial animation. You play back. And then if we want, we can layer on top of that just only using the eyebrows. So if we go to EX plus brows, for example, we have this one, brows up, brows down, brows inner up and down. So I like this one here. So she's kind of like freaked out. She can, throw her brows all over the place like this. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure you blend. When you use the face puppet here, you want to blend. You don't want to replace the eyebrows. You don't want to select a new mode. You want to blend it. You can adjust the strength, but again, a couple more minutes, and we'll get to the Q&A here. So I'll just go ahead and do this. So I'll record, and okay, so I just kind of moved my mouse in real time and created those, kind of enhanced the eyebrows a little bit. I'll play back here and you'll see. And again, you can also go into the keyframes and edit the movement of those in more detail as well. But that's for another webinar. So yeah, I think that's about it for this live demo here. We're going to go to the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. We already have a few questions lined up here. Oh, by the way, I forgot to kind of show, if you did want to import in Daz's hair, how you would do it. What you would want to do is you'd want to have an OBJ to import in, and you just go up to create and create accessory. If you have an FBX with a character, then you want to use this one, okay? But accessory is the way to do it right now, if you want to do it separately. But again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, you generally want to use the transformer to import in your hair, and then save it as a separate hair item. Just bring it in with a character. You don't have to save the character. Just bring it in with the character using the transformer tool and as an FBX, and that's generally the best way to do it. The least hassle to do it that way. I don't know if I have any OBJ files here. This one here might be an OBJ. Is entitled hair. Oh, okay. So this was a Toulouse hair, but unfortunately, I don't have the materials for it. But you can see here if you imported it in, but you don't have the. You got to make sure that you have the materials folder along with it. But that's really how you import in the OBJs. It's not too complicated. Just make sure you have the material folder, and then again, you can just do the same thing. Go up to hair, and you can apply like different hair material to this if you want. I'm not sure how it would look, but again, that's just, we'll get to that if you guys want to learn more about that. We can learn more about that later on. All right, so let's go ahead and just delete that weird looking thing off the top of her head there. All right. Okay, let's get to the Q&A. Cool. Chip Proser, importing from CC, it doesn't work. Says no standard, non-standard character is picked. Chip, importing from CC, importing from CC to Daz, or I'm not sure what you're importing from. Maybe you can clarify a bit on that question there, Chip. I'm not sure. If you're importing from CC to another software, it really depends. I need to know what software. Okay, let's go to the next one. Brian Wheatley, is it possible to import DAZ characters like the Centaur or Mermaid characters? Yes, it is. However, they may not be able to use the motion tools that I just showed you. For example, like the face puppet tool, unless they have one of our like a G8 head. If it has a G8 head or a G3 head, then yeah, you can do that. But if it's an unconventional type of model, like I'm not sure where the Centaur or Mermaid, what's their structure or anything like that, then you can import it, but it'll literally be imported in as a prop, or else a prop or a non-human character. And we do have a non-human character in iClone that I can show you an example of what it would be like. It's our good old horse. Hopefully we still have that in the library somewhere. Right here, avatar. So we have we have done away with the horse. Oh, here, no, non-human. Okay, so what would happen is you'd import it in as a character, but it would be like a character like this. So if I go over to our our motion tools right now, you can see we don't have any of those motion tools. The only motion tool we have available to use is the edit motion layer tool. Okay, and that just allows us to move bones individually, like to show our bones here. So we would have to do like all the animation manually, unless you bought like a movement pack for this horse specifically. You'd have to do everything kind of manually, which is no fun. That's how they did things in the old days. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of great animation. The best animation actually comes from those who do it manually. But for myself, I don't really have a lot of time, so I can't. I'll be a lazy animator. But that's how you would animate your Centaur type character. In terms of getting the head on, it would be you'd have to do some kind of attachment, some Frankenstein work there. Okay, let's get to the next question here. Feng asks, I want to know, is there any perfect way to transfer hair physics from iClone to Unreal Engine? Oh, good question. Right now, we are currently working on that, actually, because that's a feature that we've had a lot of requests for, getting the physics specifically for the hair consistent in iClone and Unreal Engine. Now I can tell you, Phone, that we are working on that. However, at this time, there's no perfect solution, like you mentioned here. It does take a lot of tweaking, and that's one of the kind of troublesome things about physics. But yeah, we will be soon updating the hair physics to conform more with Unreal Engine, so you can look forward to that. But yeah, unfortunately, at this time, I can't give you a good answer on that. Question from Brian. You said only G3 and G8. Does it include 8.1? Not yet. Good question, Brian. Doesn't include G8.1 yet. So only the G8 characters and only the G3 base characters, or whatever, any character based off of those models. So unfortunately, not 8.1 just yet. If we have enough demand for 8.1, it'll come out faster. So if you're an ardent DAZ user and you like really want to get the 8.1 going, then I highly recommend requesting in our forums. We have a wishful features section in our forums. Throw it in there, and we have our development team that browses that quite regularly. Okay, Klaus, how can I change or adjust given animation of a prop? I have a prop of a cobra, and with the animation is also coming a certain pasture. I want the tongue animation, but not the pasture. If you're animating a prop, I think you're talking about applying two animations to the same prop simultaneously. Unfortunately, with right now, I think I know what you're asking, but unfortunately, right now, for example, if I click on my horse here, which would be the kind of thing you're talking about, there's only remove object animation. However, if I click on my character, come on, where are you? There we go. If I click on the character, we actually, oh, I don't have any body animation, but there's the option to remove animation from different parts of the character's body. Oh, that's in the timeline, right? So in the timeline, if I have the horse selected, I have the motion, we can remove so there should be an option to remove no, okay, so this is, yeah, the horse doesn't have this option. I forgot I was clicking on the horse there. The female has the option though. If I gave her a body animation, for example, let's just give her a quick if I select her first, there we go. I need to give her a body animation. Yeah, unfortunately, with humans, you can remove body animation from one body part at a time. But with props, you cannot remove from like one bone at a time, unfortunately. And I think that's a feature that we probably should have. Let's see something like this. Let's just mask it here. Oh. Okay. So I'm not really explaining things here. What I'm doing is I'm just masking out the upper body of my character, and I'm using the lower body idle. So this is one way you can kind of combine animations in iClone. So I can keep that pose. I can keep that pose of her like, pondering, whatever she's pondering, the horse beside her. Why is this horse here? And you can also have her keep this all the other stuff there. But yeah, what I wanted to show you, the reason I did all that in the first place was if you click on your puppet clip, you can right click it and you can like remove motion, and you can select a different part of the body to remove from. Because these are all template characters, and it's easy to remove, from one part, et cetera, et cetera. But with the props, you can't do that. That's a very long explanation as to why, as to showing you that you cannot unfortunately do that with props, Klaus. But hopefully you guys learned a little bit about masking and combining animations. Next question is from Ralph. Do you know how to properly import Salvatore for Genesis 3 and 8? Every time I import, his face imports all deformed. Salvatore for Genesis 3 and Genesis 8 male. I've never tried that specific character myself. But Ralph, what I'd highly recommend doing is throwing that question into the forums, because we do have a lot of veteran DAS users that are in there, and they may have come across that issue. And if they're not able to help, then we also have our development team that browses the forums quite often as well. So I'd recommend doing that. But unfortunately, Ralph, I don't have a straight answer for you here, because I've never dealt with that specific character myself, unfortunately. Okay, Josh, when exporting a character to Unity, do they keep those eye shader settings? Right now, with the Unity auto setup, they do keep those settings. However, they do. You may need to tweak them in Unity. I've spent most of my last year or so here, a couple of years in Unreal, so I haven't really kept exactly up to date on the latest in what's happening with the Unity auto setup. I do know that it's fairly up to date, and I do know that we are working on a Unity live link as well. So you can keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. But in terms of the eye shader settings, I don't want to just go off on a tangent and experiment with it. But yeah, the digital eye shaders, those are the ones that are compatible with the Unity auto setup. So it should keep those settings. I can confirm that. The auto setup does use the digital eye, digital human eye. All right, next question also from Josh. When exporting a character to Unity, oh, so that's the same one. If you make the pupils bigger, will they stay big on export? Can those settings be animated in iClone for a cartoon character? Oh, so animating the eyes in iClone. There's a couple things you can animate. I don't think pupil size is one of them, unfortunately. Without using a little bit of magic. So if we select like our character's eyes, for example, anything here that is anything that you see that has green text, this can be animated. Okay, so strength of the irises can be animated. What am I doing here? Oh. So for example, we take her right eye here. Just take the strength down. You can make her look like she's kind of like a blind android or something like that. And all the other settings are in here. So if you go to iris, but unfortunately you can see that none of these are greens. That means that you can't animate them right now, unfortunately, including all of these ones. The only ones you can animate would be like the opacity. Okay, so here's the eye without the digital shader. Okay, it looks pretty bad, right? So yeah. Self-illumination if you want her to have glowing eyes. But yeah, unfortunately, you won't be able to animate the size of the iris. I'm hoping that, because I'm a huge guy with the eyes, I'm hoping that they'll have that in the future, but I can't say right now. Okay, so question from Bobby. This one also is about 8.1. There's a ton of updates to Genesis 8 that CC3 sees as invalid. Yeah, unfortunately, I was talking with the development team right before this webinar, and there's no update for 8.1 at this time, but that's going to be forthcoming. And we do have a few things on the schedule. So if you are really intense on, getting that stuff fast sooner rather than later, then make your voice known in the forums. Question from Mohammed. When importing one of the G8 male models from DAZ 3D, I missed the eyelashes. After searching, I found it in the skull. How can I fix this issue? Generally, what I'd recommend doing, Mohammed, is adding the eyelashes in Character Creator 3, replacing the DAZ ones. Just like I replaced the eyelashes here. There is a number of eyelash settings under Morphs. So for example, this character's eyelashes, if I go to Morphs and I just search under lash, for example, you can see we have eyelash scale. Whoops, why did it move up like that? Okay, so I can increase the size of her eyelashes here, and the eyelash movement. I'm not sure why that particular character might be having the eyelashes appear in the middle of the head, but you can always fix that. If you go into your scene here, we do have the lashes not under here anymore. Might be this one. No, flat. Oh yeah, that's the eyelashes there. Oh no, that's the eyebrows. Used to be a lash thing here. I know you can move them, adjust them with the morph sliders here, but there used to be. I guess it depends. Oops, my phone just started talking. Get out of here. All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not sure about that, but all I know is you can adjust them here. And you can also adjust them with the mesh as well. You should be able to. Yeah, there's your mesh. But yeah, I need a bit more time to kind of, because I've never really dealt with eyelashes in a while. And I know things have changed since the last time I dealt with them. But I know for sure there's an area that you can adjust. Here's eyelash right here. So I guess yeah, it would need to be something in here. Anyways, those are the settings for eyelashes. I'm sure you should be able to move them around. Let's go to the next question for now. So next question is from James. Should I use DAZ to import Marvelous designer clothes into CC3? No, you don't need, there's no real reason to go into DAZ to import your Marvelous designer clothes. You can just do it directly from Marvelous designer into CC3. In fact, we have that pipeline. There's a bunch of tutorials that talk about the Marvelous designer pipeline into CC3. You can just Google them. Essentially, there's a really simple and easy pipeline to get that stuff in. And I don't have it handy right now. I don't want to go through Google or anything like that. So, but yeah, just search like Marvelous Designer CC3 and you'll find all sorts of tutorials about that. Another question from Fong. When I make characters close their eyes, why does the eyelash hair go out on the edge? Yeah, I guess another question about the eyelashes. I briefly talked about that. You can change the morphs on the eyelashes. But there should be other things that you can adjust. There's angle, so on and so forth. You can see there's a number of different sliders here. And I'm not too familiar with the eyelashes, so again, don't shoot me on this one. But you can always just move them around using those sliders. I do believe. I need to get back to you on that, I think. Nice question from Chelsea. How do you bring in a pose from DAZ? Is it possible to do everything you've just shown, but with a pose? Yeah, you can bring in your DAZ poses. Oh gosh, you just import them or export them as an FBX. I know there's a DAZ pose exporter tutorial. I specifically did that not the other day, a couple years ago, probably. Pose to CC3. Yeah, here you go. Applying DAZ poses to CC3. So, and this is a couple years ago.
And once we do that, what's going?
And it's using 3D Exchange. So I'll just share this in the chat window with you. How's that sound? Instead of going through the whole process here. Chat. There we go. For those of you who want to take your DAZ poses into CC3. Okay. Next question also from Chelsea. Could you quickly demo the hair sim capabilities of iClone? Yeah, I mean, it's just general physics. This hair style should be physics enabled. If I was to move it around real quickly. Oh, let's try and use something like the direct puppet tool here. And we'll rotate our character. Do I have physics enabled? Well, this hair should have physics. Let me just double check. Oh, let's activate the physics there. Oh, may not have a physics map. This may be one of the newer ones that doesn't have a physics map yet. It should have a physics map on it. Yeah, I need to throw in maybe a different hairstyle in there. Not sure why that one doesn't have physics on it. Let's try this. Nope. Oh, where's the hair again? I never add hair in iClone, so is it body part? Here we go. There. I mean, let's try this one. Yeah, it should have physics enabled in it. And if you want to add the physics, that looks nice. If you want to add the physics, then holy smokes. Again, this might have the same issue there. Yeah. I'll have to double check on that because they should have physics enabled on them, for sure. I'm not sure why there's no weight maps included, but yeah, that's generally that weight map section there is where you'll want to just like you want to select your hair and you'll want to throw in the weight map. And I'm not sure why it's not why there's nothing there, but might just be the new hair. I think some of the new hair stuff they're preparing it for the new physics, so they might not be included with this hair yet. Yeah, body part. There's other stuff as well here, I'm sure. Like the default. Nope, I'm not gonna bother messing around here. So sorry about that, Chelsea. I can't really demo right now because I'm not sure. I think it might be due to the fact that they are preparing for the new physics, the new hair physics, the one I mentioned earlier. That's more compatible with Unreal, so they're not bothering to add the physics maps for the current physics. I guess that would be my guess. But all the I know for sure, like all the old characters, like if I guess I could just bring in like one of the old Avatar characters, like both of them have pretty short hair. Jodie or she has a ponytail. Yeah, it should be able to, unless I don't have my physics. Well, I do have my soft physics enabled here, which is up here. Soft cloth simulation. Yep. She's going to be here in the dark while the princess is over there in the light. Let's just quickly try and do this because it's kind of bothering me. Okay, there you see. Whoops. Let's change it to primary. Okay, so you can see the hair physics, the results. Okay. Goes over her shoulders. And that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm not sure if those maps are somewhere else or if they're just not included, but I'll have to double check that later. Yeah, when you have your character or the hair selected, just go over here to physics and you'll have a weight map. You can see right there. And you can see it's fairly complicated, so it's not easy to do. It generally takes you like an hour or two, I would say, to get a good one. At least for me, because I'm just slow in many ways. Yeah, that's kind of the demo there, I guess. I'm sorry it's not cooler. Question from Bill. Can these converted characters receive voice files from Replica Studios? Yeah, absolutely, Bill. They're fully compatible with any of the tools iClone has to offer, so including the voice files from Replica Studios. You can even have her like, say something. I do have Replica Studios on this computer, right? Yep. Let's have her say something from, what's her name again? Oh, this is from the last webinar. I still have these.
So the other day, my mother gave...
Hopefully you guys can hear that. But we need to link it first. Oh, we don't want the horse selected. Okay, there we go. We'll have this one here. So I'm just showing how to basically use the Replica Studios plugin. It's free, this plugin. We'll just throw this in there. Style, let's have, we'll discuss, right? I'm not sure if it's going to be a very good combination, but there you go. So what it's doing is just basically creating automatic lip sync here for our character. And then we can play back.
So the other day, my mother gave me some big news. I'm actually an intelligent 3D model they adopted.
Okay, and we need to, I think, layer our emotion on top of that one. So it looks like he replaced the emotion. Okay. Anyways, cool. Yeah, because we used the expression template. It replaced all the animation we did previously. Oh well, you can always put that up later. Okay. Patrice Douglas asks, how do you add a back tattoo? So basically, Patrice, the back tattoo is just on the body. Let's get this window out of the way here. So a back tattoo, you would just go to, let me close down the Q&A for a sec. What am I doing here? Oh, I want to activate my skin editor and then throw in the, again, the UV tool, and that one's gonna be for the body. And then again, wherever the tattoo is on the Daz character, I think this one has one on her back, doesn't she? Oh, she does too. What's the back one? 06. Yeah, I have it written down here. She got a bunch of arrows coming out of her face. Yeah, back in CC again, same process. SkinGen tools, UV transfer, Daz G female, and change to our body. Face, body. So just have to throw another body one in here. And then this one would be our 06 tattoo. Tattoo 06. There we go. And that should be placed nicely on her back there. Okay, so again, this one would need to be, it looks like the arms, the shoulders, and the rear skull as well. So yeah, basically the same thing I showed earlier. All right. Let's go to the next question here. Oops, where's my Zoom? All right, anonymous attendee. Do you have any tips about importing Daz clothes? I've tried using Transformer with a piece of Daz cloth that has a shader applied to it. I seem to be able to get the shape and color, but not the texture or material though. Yeah, unfortunately for the clothing, there's a lot of maybe some manual work that needs to be done. And in terms of the texture and material, you'll probably need to save out those maps from Daz and apply them manually in Character Creator 3. There's no real way that Transformer does it flawlessly for clothing right now. So yeah, unfortunately, anonymous, I can't really give you any tips on that because it always changes from piece of clothing to piece of clothing. Some will have a lot more textures on them. But yeah, it's generally just a matter of saving out all the textures from Daz and then reapplying them after you've done the Transformer work in iClone, just because there's not really any specific templates available. And I know it's kind of a crappy way to do things, but that's what we're stuck with right now. Question from Barney: what's the difference between FBX 2011 and 2021 in terms of quality? I think you mean 2012. I have the pronounced human physique morph on my character. When imported to CC3, I lose all muscular detail. In terms of the FBX 2012 and 2011, I know there was some changes to the shoulders. In terms of the muscular physique, though, I've never really encountered that. Whoops. What am I doing? Checking if there even is a 2021. Nope, I think you mean 2012. Okay, so yeah, 2012 and 2011. I know for a fact there's some shoulder detail that's missing. That was kind of optimized. But in terms of the human physique morph on the character, I'm kind of at a loss as to why the entire physique would be changed. Might be something to bring up in the forum and see if anyone has an answer there. Sorry, I can't give you a quick demo on that, Barney, because I need the specific character and everything like that. So, and I wouldn't want to troubleshoot live on the air either way. So, yeah, so I can't give you more of an answer there, Barney. So Scott mentions here, maybe in line with Brian, getting error messages from Transformer, failed to load character, no suitable profile phone. I used an 8.1 character. Yeah, so Scott, 8.1 is not compatible yet with this pipeline. So just be aware of that. So Mohammed asks, good question. Is there a way to import Daz expressions not as morphs, but as motions to be saved and applied anytime? Yeah, essentially, Mohammed, the tutorial video that I sent earlier that I think was Chelsea who asked about exporting poses from Daz. You can use the same process for exporting motions from Daz as well, expressions and all. You have to go through the 3D Exchange pipeline to do that, and that should be included. Basically, it's the same process as shown on that video, just with an expression instead of a pose. Okay, hopefully that answers your question, Mohammed. And that's in the chat window, the link for that tutorial. All right, thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, sorry I couldn't figure out what you're looking for exactly, but yeah, there's always new stuff to learn. I mean, with all these companies updating everything and going back and forth, it's kind of, makes my job troublesome sometimes. At least I keep in close contact with the development team who helps me out with that. All right, so I think we're done. Yeah, we have no more questions in the Q&A panel there. So I want to thank everyone so much for attending today. Hopefully you learned a lot about getting Daz stuff into CC3 and some of the features, how you can improve it in CC3 and add a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah, so any questions, feel free to email me, kai@realization.com, or enter the forums at forum.realization.com. And yeah, you can very likely get your questions answered there. And if you can't, please put them in the forum anyways and add it to our wishful features section, or our Q&A team can help you out as well. You can also fill out a support ticket from our website as well. All right, so yeah, that's about it. Thanks everyone so much for attending. Make sure you fill out the survey, get your 10% off in the content store, and we'll go from there. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'll see you in the next video.